It is really a delight for me, and I know for Mary Gay, for us to be here in the Lehigh Valley in the Pennsylvania 7. It's an honor. Thank you for including us. Thank you for inviting us to this town hall. I want you to know a little bit about me and my work, but much more importantly, I want to learn from you. What matters here? What matters to you? What should we be doing legislatively to make sure we're serving constituents from the Pennsylvania region? My name is Madeleine Dean. I have the privilege of serving the Pennsylvania 4th Congressional District, which is most of Montgomery and Berks counties. I do want to thank our sponsors for bringing us together tonight: Progressive Caucus Action, Better Taxes Action Fund, Families Over Billionaires, Steel Workers for hosting us. How about a round of applause for the steel workers? And Kristen and Greg for the kind introductions. I also want to acknowledge the 12 or more other community organizations for supporting this town hall. You can see that it is clearly well attended. People have a serious interest, so thank you for the work that you do to make sure that people are getting the information they need and that they're getting information to representatives. You know, if you don't mind, I'll be very honest. I'm convinced that the administration, the current administration, will be remembered for rot and for rubble. Yes. And I want to be very clear, I take no pleasure in that. I might not have voted for this president, but I wanted him to be successful for all of us. That's what I wanted. But think about the rubble and the rot. Think about the East Wing, the amputation of the East Wing without any regard for history. Think about Gaza and the West Bank and the rubble that exists there to this day. The difference that the indispensable nation of America could have made to reduce the suffering there, and we failed to do it under this administration. The rubble and suffering in Ukraine. This was a president who came in and said he was going to solve wars, bring peace, and of course bring costs down. And now, of course, Iran. What has happened in the reckless, thoughtless war of Iran, and the strange memorandum of understanding that the president signed so publicly yesterday. At Versailles, a very strange setting to put your signature on that. Think about what that memorandum says. If you've read it, it's very brief. It's 14 points. It looks as though Iran drafted it. It's embarrassing. So what I see is that Operation Epic Fury has become Operation Epic Failure. And so what I see, and I think, Mary Gay, you'll share some of this with me, is that we're confronting three different things. We're confronting cost of living, increased costs everywhere. We're seeing health care problems and the cost and access to health care. And of course, the corruption, the rot. So just quickly, I'll run through those before we get on to your questions, before we hear from Mary Gay and then get on to your questions. Costs. Remember, day one, the president promised to lower costs and end wars, and yet here we are with the highest costs we've seen in years. Inflation at a place it should never have been because he inherited an improving economy. Utilities up 12%. You're seeing it right here in this district. Gasoline up 40, 50%. Groceries, ground beef, 15%. Tomatoes, of all things, up 30 to 40% from 1 year ago. And you know what the three main causes are. Every American knows the common sense causes of these things. Number one, it is Trump's illegal tariffs. Thank God the Supreme Court recognized they were unconstitutional, illegal, a theft from American businesses and consumers. And yet we're struggling to get them back. The second reason is the grotesque implementation of immigration laws. The overreach, grotesque inhumanity of those laws, and I know this district, my district, has seen it as well. And now this reckless war of choice in Iran that has cost too many lives, too much suffering, 13 American servicemen. Mary Gay and I know that Article 1, Section 8, Section 9 says that we, Congress, has the responsibility to tax or to declare war. And yet the president never came to Congress. He never even came to the American people about either of those issues. Let's skip to health care. On care, Martin Luther King once said that of all the forms of inequality, injustice in health is the most shocking and inhumane. I couldn't agree more. Buoyed by congressional Republicans, Trump has relentlessly gutted care. Right here in the Pennsylvania 7th, just so you know, Medicaid cuts and ACA cuts affect 24,000 people in this district alone. 24,000, 18,800 through Medicaid cuts, losing health coverage, 5,300 through ACA cuts. That's what they voted for when they cut $1 trillion out of Medicaid and harmed Medicare and the ACA as well. Because of the big, beautiful bill, the average annual price of health insurance is up $1,500 compared to last year. In Pennsylvania, more than 145,000 Pennsylvanians have dropped their penny coverage, the ACA coverage. That's 145,000 folks. As we signed people up, they were so delighted to get that break, to get a reduction, to get a tax break, frankly. No, those tax breaks went to the billionaire class. And there's more to talk about there, but maybe I'll go to corruption. I could replace corruption with cover-up, or chaos, or cruelty. While Americans suffer, the president continues his grift. Open-air grift for him, himself, and many who surround him, people in his administration. Think about it. Just a month ago, he wanted a nearly $1.8 billion slush fund to pay off people he felt victimized, like those who attacked the Capitol on January 6th. We were there. We were there. They beat police officers. They should never have been pardoned. Their restitution should never have been forgiven, and they should certainly not get a payout. How about his IRS agreement with acting Secretary of DOJ Todd Blanche? Amnesty, immunity from paying his taxes or having his taxes looked at. I have one question. Who asks for such a thing? Would you be an elected official and say, by the way, please don't look at my tax returns? Just don't do that. I need freedom from that? No. He's increased his own net worth. We all know it. I'm a member of the Appropriations and Foreign Affairs Committee. The harm he has done around the world to our relationships with our allies and our foes is stunning and staggering and will take a long time to fix. But I am not without hope. That's why I want to pivot now, before I get to your questions. I'm not without hope because I see you here. We meet with students. I meet with high school students and college students. I meet with seniors and veterans. I am not without hope. We get it. We are on the wrong path, and we have the power to change that. We can do this together through civic engagement, through relying upon our Constitution, going back to the rule of law, putting reforms on, for example, the independence of the judiciary. How about reforming the Supreme Court of the United States? And making sure we elect a majority party who will be a check on this out-of-control president. I am not without hope. We will right this ship, and I'm delighted to have the chance to have that conversation with you. Thank you.